Afternoon. Well, after the fantastic morning, courtesy of Ed and Rachel on narrowboat Veloci and going through Foxton Locks and getting my first hands-on experience on an actual narrowboat. I know it's absolutely, and I admit it, it sounds ridiculous. Look at me, I've narrowboated until that point. I'd never even actually steered one. But anyway, it went well. So I'm once I'd sort of relaxed and stopped thinking about it. It's no crashes, so that was very good. Anyway, back on the boat and yes, new mood and now I'm motivated. Well, I was never unmotivated to do this, but now I'm even more bit of motivation to do the final few days left of this trip. So what I've got to do now is turn all these random sticks that I've been creating over the past few days and turn them into a door lining. So before I go any further, I'm just mixing up a very small batch of the Jotamastic. Jotamastic. I always think of my friend Tonya. Tell me how to pronounce it properly. Jotamastic 90 primer undercoat. And just what I'm going to do is just where I'm going to put the wood, I'm just going to give it a coat there, purely because I hope never to be seeing this ever again. But I'd rather just maybe over egg it, and there might be too much. But rather than rusting, I might as well give another coat. I've got not plenty of this stuff, but I've got some here. Can't do any harm. And there's a few places certainly on the sill where I've been chipped and is rusting, so I need to get that sorted out before I put any sill on it. Yes, unfortunately, like I said several times, I'm kind of making this as I go along, and I found that my painting was I'd been overly cautious and it was too big, so I had to cut this down. And with it being not a right angle on it, it was not quite tricky to do. But I realised by sort of wedging it in with a right angle, it's just about okay. Hopefully, go and find out now. Well, happily, after that little detour, it's fitting pretty nicely now. So the next thing is the stainless steel hinges have arrived this afternoon, which is good, and they're actually okay for the price that I paid. I could find the horrendously expensive ones or really cheap ones from China, and I was trying to get the ones in the middle, and hopefully they're all right. However, I do remember hinges are an absolute pain to install, and actually when we were doing doors, when we were doing the house and the flat, this was always Christian's forte, and he's not here, so this really is something I'm going to have to try and learn on my own. Well, it's all learning on my own, but let's see. So here's an example of why everything takes forever and much longer than you think. I was about to do the hinges, and I've got quite a lot of them. I thought I would try and use the router, and because to get them accurate, I was going to make a small template, and they have this Guy Bush's accessory, but which I've had for ages. But somewhere the bolts have disappeared, and I don't have any really suitable bolts. However, the only bolts that really fit are these. I think they're all these actually from kitchen units joined together, and they does just about work apart from it pops through there. So I need to find a small washer. And can I find a small washer that just about fits there? No, I cannot in anything I've got. Apart from this one little one, which is actually attached to a nail and a sort of an automatic nail gun thing. And I couldn't remember where I got that from, but then I found it on the floor. And actually, this is the scrap wood from the boat next door, which they're getting rid of, and that's where they are. So I've now got to extract those to get a couple more washers, and hopefully then get that guide bush on there, and then make the template, and then we may get the hinges routed out. It's getting on in the evening, so I'm not sure it's going to happen tonight, but let's see. Well, my codge with the bolts didn't actually work, so they came loose, and so it's not all over. So plan B, as I wanted to try and get this done, is I've sort of made some stops for where the actual router goes, which isn't as great, but hopefully it works. So let's see. I need to actually go and get another piece of tooling before I can actually see if it works out. This is a little widget that sort of, because of the router is always round in the corner, takes off the corner. Not quite enough there, but so the moment of truth is, yeah, that's. I think I need to work on the. It's a little deep, so I've got the depth setting on the thing too well, but that's pretty firmly in, which great. However, all those detours, as you can probably see, it's going to go dark any minute now. So my hopes to get all the actual things done to this evening, the hinges, have been totally vanquished. However, at least we've got tomorrow. We've got to get on with that and carry on. So excellent. So cleaning up and dinner time. Morning. Well, I couldn't show you my progress today because it was too dark to film. Not well, as one of the usual massive underestimations, I started trying to line the door, and as I had previously cut all the wood, I thought, well, I honestly thought I'd have it done by lunchtime. Just stick the bits of wood up, and I thought I'd have the first coat of paint on in the afternoon, and then I'd get back to the roof light. But oh no! How stupid I was. So I still haven't quite finished, almost, but it's the thing that took me forever. Well, it's not that, it was trying to get the door lock in. And then, as there was I might include in this, there was it's a sash lock with a latch and a locking bolt, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but and for the mortise bit, normally you drill that into a wooden door. Anyway, the mortise bit, it was just wrong. Normally things are not as good enough quality. This thing was too well made, and I was trying. It didn't fit because it didn't fit on the where the metal part of the door is, and so I tried to hammer it out,
with a mallet. And if it had a metal vise, I'm sure that would have taken a couple of minutes and I could have done it. But without the metal vise, I got it partly the way there, but not enough, and I just gave up on that. So I'll have to make a sort of strike plate at some point, but that's going to go onto the later stroke never list. Yeah. Anyway, so here are the fruits of my labours. Oh yes, and late at night, I have to confess, in a moment of absolute stupidity, I've drilled. I was trying to drill the frames, and I've drilled twice through the actual boat. I mean, it's of all the places to do it, right at the top, the highest point underneath the ledge is probably the least worst to do it. But I'm still very annoyed. Anyway, so here we are. So what I've done, and basically, as I've got the insulation here, I've basically made this deeper here, so I can actually insulate the doors here. So not enough light inside, so I'll have to. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're saying, well, why don't you just put a piece of plywood in like these? This is what most people do. And over the course of yesterday, I was thinking to myself the same question. But however, in the long run, hopefully a bit of insulation will work. I need to cut a piece of wood for the top. The bit that went so horribly wrong. I also need to cut a lining for the. As you can still see, there's right down the middle. That's it. The light's better now, and that's so you can cope with the two things. So yeah, so I need to cut a piece to put down here to bridge that gap and get that painted. However, before the painting, I'm going to do the bits to hold the glass for the windows, because the idea is the hope, which is probably not going to be realised, is that I can order the glass soon. So it will take a while to come. But yeah. So on with that. I was supposed to be back to the roof light today, so that may not get touched again on this trip, but let's see. Morning. Well, yesterday was productive but unsatisfying in some ways. I spent the morning measuring very carefully, I hope very carefully, measuring the gaps, openings for where the glass needs to be for the various hatches and window frames. The idea being, if I can get the window frame, the roof light routed out this afternoon, cross fingers, it means that I'll have all the measurements ready towards the glass, which will be good. So I did that, and that took me all morning. And ever since then, I've been making frames. These are to put the glass in. I'll explain them more when we get nearer to installation. But yes, took me a good while. Especially the ones here for the bulkhead are not square, so they took quite a bit of thinking and thought. And then to my horror, towards the end of the afternoon when I was doing this, I realised after my weekend of preparing all the wood, I guess as you probably remember, I wasn't in the most greatest of moods, and I seriously miscalculated the amount of wood I needed. So Stephen's sawmill and sanding shop had to reopen again yesterday evening, and I had to cut quite much more pieces of these because I didn't have anywhere near enough. The issue was largely that I probably had enough, but it was all in offcuts. So when I cut a piece, I just had lots of small pieces, which of course aren't what I needed. So the overall length was okay, just wasn't right, wasn't practical use. So I had to start with that, and anyway, so it's this is the morning's plan. I don't know how long it'll take me to do. Let's see we get through to lunch. Lots and lots of frames.
My hope to get this done by lunchtime was thoroughly kiboshed when I found out that I had to reopen Stephen's sawmill and sanding shop yet again. Not on first of all, there was a part missing, so I did all that, and then I went and noticed I'd miscounted totally, and I'd got entire set missing. So I only had 3 rather than 4 for the hatches. God knows how I managed that. I'm thinking, well, I'm just getting tired. So anyway, sorted that out. Had to use a bit of tantalised wood that you can see the blue, but hey, it'll stop it rotting, and you're not going to see that bit. So fine. So now, it's hopefully I'll try and root out the frames of the roof light, and then that's all the sort of spaces for glass, as it were, and then I can think about ordering those. Maybe not right away, but at least then the measurements are all there. Well, glad that's finished, although it's not finished, of course. I've still got to do the hinges, which are not going to be done right now because it's early evening on Friday, and not only is it early evening on Friday, but I'm finally going home, which is about time. It's now middle of September, and I arrived here in early August, and apart from a couple of short trips out to a small Cotswolds village or a small village in Northampton, Buckinghamshire, I have a couple of hours in Market Harbour. I haven't left this place for a long time, and when Market Harbour starts feeling like the big urban city, you know that you've been in the country too long. Not that I'm a particular city boy per se, but anyway. So that will be on the way back. I have to say I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to having showers and conveniences on tap. Need to get my beard and hair trimmed. It's been so long with all the dust, and it's been a while since it's been washed. It's starting to look like Dinah Ross has stuck her fingers into electric power sockets at times. That's why you see me wearing a cap recently in the last videos. Anyway, so it's have I got everything I thought I'd do? I thought I'd have a long stretch here and get everything done. Have I done? Have I? Of course not. But I guess I've made progress. It's all the fiddly stuff. I know. I was just looking back in there in the all the bits of wood and things. I was like, well, it had to be done at some point. So maybe it's a good thing maybe that I'm getting the fiddly stuff done. Anyway, so I hope you're all well, and thanks for watching, and see you soon.